The Simpsons, season 37, episode 1, and this episode, I thought it was good. For a season premiere, I thought it was a decent episode. One thing I really did enjoy in this episode is that you can tell this is meant to be the origin of a new status quo for Lisa. And I think it's them basically saying, like, technically, knowing this season's meant to set in present day, it's set in 2025. So technically, Lisa would be born, what, 2016, 2017. So she would technically be Gen Alpha. She would probably get along with the Gen Alpha kids. She wouldn't be a loner. She wouldn't be antisocial, just because she's smart and cares about the environment and she's, vegan or vegetarian. I think she's vegan now. Anyway, all these things, those are positive things. That is like those are positive things. She would just naturally get along with the kids at the school. And so what they decided to do is make her popular, give her a slight upper popular edge. It's like Lisa is now somewhat popular at school. And it kind of gives you the question of, okay, if this is meant to be the new status quo, it gives you more opportunities, gives you more stories. These are the new friends. They're part of the fashion group, or at least the fashion group that enjoys all vintage clothes. Because that's a very popular thing that, apparently Alpha and Gen Z are liking, is getting clothes from the old eras, from like the 80s and 90s, and going like, I like a fanny pack. I like those leg up, those shoes that leg up. Let's mix and match, and apparently skinny jeans are back and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to list off very popular 80s, 90s clothing, but you get the point. And I like also the concept of Lisa becoming a fashion snob, becoming a character, or becoming a pretty disrespectful little shit, being all like saying to Marge that, oh, these clothes don't fit you anymore, so you are nothing. Going off Project One Way, being so disrespectful to her mom. And when she gets a reality check and goes back to the character that she is, I like the fact that the friends don't leave. I like how basically they're telling us these guys are going to stay. So it kind of gives you a new sense of status quo, a new sense of character development for the character, and it's probably a way to go, because sometimes, like, look, I'm one of these people who's up for 5 seasons of the high school years, as I like to call it. Like, I'm up for Bar and Lisa being in high school, and I always say that's a way you can change the actors and change the voice actors, and it will feel quite natural, because you can say, well, that's what Bar and Lisa sounds like, post puberty, and you can say, well, that's what Homer sounds like in his 50s, and same with Marge, and so on and so forth. For characters that you feel that they don't have you don't feel have a use yet, or you haven't used for a while, and there hasn't been any stories being left to tell on that character. So you can kind of slightly kill them off and say they pass away or something, whatever you want to do. I'm always up for that. So knowing that they're going to slightly do it by like making feels like at least Lisa a bit popular. Now look, I watched next episode and Lisa's a bloody loser. It's back to being the bookworm, antisocial, stall loser. Maybe, all we know. But in this situation, I like how at the end she, still gets her friends, and that's what I like. Yes, you get have a journey, and even the kids, even her friends get a reality check. Even her friends gets a reality check. So I like the idea that you get this arc that kind of goes into this new status quo, which I quite like. I couldn't help but laugh. Mostly Marge kind of got the most laughs out of me. Like, somehow they found a way to make Marge the most. Like, her getting fussed about ads. How it's like. Look, a good thing about streaming services, I don't get the ad tier. I paid the extra like $2 for the non ad tier. But I love how she's just getting annoyed by ad after ad after ad after ad. I'm like, thank God, girl, you're not on YouTube. Because it kind of gets annoyed that, like, okay, you watch the ad. 5 seconds later, it stops. Here's another ad. And then, okay, you watch. Okay, the video you are watching has a sponsor. So you're going to watch them sponsoring the sponsorship. Okay. Then YouTube is going to say, stop. Let's give you another ad. You go, oh my God, like how many ads do I need to effing watch? And sometimes it's like 5, and then here comes the Patreon ad, and here comes this ad, and here's another, whatever it is. It just, I was like, I understand Mars's frustration, and I can't help but also laugh at Bart, who basically says, what's the point watching going to the movies when you can watch it 3 days later, hinting the reality of streaming where like the theatrical window got shrunk to because of COVID, 9 days to 45 days, and it's making the consumers trained to not go to the movies because they can say, oh, it's coming out in a month's time. Oh, okay, I can wait. I would say make it 2 months. If you make it 2 months, that makes it feel like an event. Movies need to feel like an event again, and that's how you make it an event. I get it. Studios want to go back on that, streaming. They control their movie. That's the way they want to do it, but over their TV shows. But it needs to be a little bit longer. It needs to be the theatrical window needs to extend a little bit more. So I like that joke. The commentary on that as well. The only storyline I didn't really care for is Homer's, because all it is looking at an iPad, and they try and make it part of the story. They try and make it part of the story because there's a whole heist thing. There's a whole like Lisa stealing clothes, trying to steal clothes from other houses. Anyway, they did try to add it, but I'm like, it's just Homer and other people looking at an iPad, going, oh my God, and there's kicking sounds, and that's it. It's not really much of a. I get it's a gag, but it's not really that funny of a gag. So I didn't really care for that. And that. Also, I couldn't help but laugh at, at the third act of this episode. I'll end off with this. The third act of the episode ends with Bart and Marge going to a mother and son dance at the store. And of course, Bart doesn't want to go. Naturally, Bart doesn't want to go. And he's running away in the store hallways, and the thing that the mums are like, oh my God, I need to dance with my son, with my son, is Hungry Eyes from Dirty Dancing, and I couldn't help but be for a second I was like, we're talking about this, we're talking about the one I'm thinking of, like Hungry Eyes. Out of all the songs in the world, why would you want to dance with, it's cool, mother-son dance thing, cool, that's awesome. Why Hungry Eyes as a song choice? What about Footloose? What about that? The Footloose soundtrack is a better soundtrack, by the way. But I just want to point it out there. Because it's just weird knowing, what Hungry Eyes basically means. I mean, it's kind of a translation to fuck me eyes. So it's kind of weird that, parents would want to dance that, song with their child. It's just kind of odd. I was like, why? It was like, oh wait, Springfield is a very strange town. Anyway, I like this episode. I didn't really, I didn't love it. I thought it was decent, but I love that status quo change. I love that status quo change. Anyway, comment below if you've seen the episode. Let me know your thoughts.